Is artificial intelligence coming for your job? Whether you're a graphic designer, a writer, or a software coder, AI is evolving so fast right now that it's hard to keep up with the list of professions feeling threatened by it. I'm not sure architects feel this way. 4 months ago I made a video exploring what Dall E 2 could do for me, and the short answer is not very much. It can make interesting patterns from natural language, but it can't deal with three-dimensional space. What I need is an AI that can do the tedious, repetitive tasks, leaving me free to focus on the more creative stuff. Hey, AI, write me a letter to the planning department.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Okay, for starters, my name isn't Dave. Just forget about it, I'll do it myself. Things change rapidly. What was cutting edge 4 months ago might now be obsolete. Everyone is talking about ChatGPT and MidJourney right now, so let's see what they can do. Let's check out ChatGPT first. It's made by the same people who created Dall E 2. This is supposed to be like Google on steroids. It's designed to give highly detailed, almost human responses to written queries. YouTube is full of people using it to write essays and even generate code. But can an architect like me use it for anything useful? Let's jump right in and ask it to describe the criteria required to comply with the Scottish building regulations when converting a shop to a flat. Highly technical query, and it's already spitting out answers. Okay, this looks impressive, but when I read it closer there are mistakes, such as where it says the converted flat would need a wheelchair-accessible toilet. That's not actually correct for a flat. It would be if we were converting the flat to a shop. It's also not mentioned anything about acoustics or the need for a kitchen. You can see there's a sort of disclaimer at the bottom here saying these are just some of the main criteria, etc, etc. Let's give this a 6 out of 10 and move on. Now, I've seen people use ChatGPT to generate code. I will admit I don't have any coding skills, but I do know that Sketchup, one of my favourite 3D drawing programs, uses Ruby as its software language, and users can generate their own tools for SketchUp using that code. Let's ask ChatGPT to generate Ruby code to create a 3D model of the Barcelona chair by Mies van der Rohe in SketchUp. That's one of the most famous pieces of 20th century furniture. I've even got one in my home office behind me, so there will be plenty of info online for ChatGPT to draw on. I don't have a clue about coding, but this looks impressive. Let's take it over to SketchUp and paste it into the Ruby console to see how this looks. What on earth? It's just a wireframe line drawing. Okay, so that's a 1 out of 10. Maybe let's go back to technical queries. Let's ask it to write a specification for a timber frame external wall using 140mm timber studs, which can achieve a U value of 0.2. Okay, so it's given me a generic specification. This might appear impressive, but it's nowhere near detailed enough. Let's give ChatGPT more info on the wall build-up. There will be a 50mm cavity and 100mm external block. Okay, let's rerun the calculation, asking it to use generic phenolic insulation and ask it how much we would need. Okay, it's explaining how to do a U-value calculation step by step. It's a bit like watching someone thinking out loud. Right, 400mm of phenolic insulation. That's a very thick wall, but it can do the calculation. Let's see if it can give me alternatives that aren't as thick. Okay, that's a generic answer. Let's push it and ask it to use a known brand of insulation. There you go. 234mm of rock wool. That's probably correct. So it can do U-value calculations. This is actually useful. I would use this. Well done, ChatGPT. This AI is intriguing, and I'm already thinking of questions to ask it and problems to solve, but we need to move on and check out MidJourney. Now, this AI is broadly similar to Dall E 2 in that you write a description of something and it will generate images of that for you. Like ChatGPT, MidJourney runs on information that's in the public domain. Let's start by asking it to draw an architectural image of a well-known building. How about the Pantheon in Rome? This runs on a Discord server, and it can be a bit tricky to keep track of your images because so many other users are online at the same time. I should point out that I signed up to the paid version of MidJourney to get images faster, but even this takes a minute or two. The user interface isn't great. My chat keeps moving down the list while the images are generated, so I've gone to the home gallery view. These images look absolutely amazing. I'm pretty sure they aren't accurate though. I've been in the Pantheon and it's not as tall as that bottom image on the right. Just look at those people for scale. Also, there are significant discrepancies between all of the images, which leads me to think what we have here is the essence of the building, not an exact image. MidJourney doesn't seem to have the ability to edit specific parts of an image in the same way Dall E 2 can. I can generate variations by picking the V button and the number corresponding to one of the 4 images. I can also upscale the image. Let's see how these work out. Okay, this has added more detail. I can keep regenerating images and picking ones I like, then upscaling and refining them further. It seemed to add more detail each time. It's not just making a better quality version of the earlier image. Let's try something closer to home. I'm going to ask it to generate a highly detailed architectural image of Murray Place in Edinburgh. This is a well-known street. Plenty of photos will be available online to feed the AI. Wow, they don't actually look like the buildings in Murray Place. I mean, they do superficially look like classic Georgian homes, but they aren't what I was asking for. I think my previous observation about the Pantheon must be true. They're giving something with the essence, but not an actual model of the real thing. Let's change the description to a highly detailed architectural elevation drawing of Murray Place in Edinburgh. Let's see what this comes up with. Okay, this still isn't it. Okay, you might think I'm being pedantic. After all, these renderings are beautiful. The text is gibberish, but at a glance, this is very good. It's only when you get into the real architectural detail that this falls down. Dall E 2 can take uploaded images and play with them, and MidJourney can do something similar using images hosted online. Let's give it one of my previous projects to play with. If you've watched the channel before, you'll be familiar with this job of mine. Let's ask it to make larger windows and see what it comes up with. What? That looks nothing like the original. This AI has an extremely overactive imagination. I like this one though. It looks interesting. Let's make some variations on that. Right, okay, let's give this the ultimate test, the Pepsi challenge. 4 months ago, I asked Dall E 2 to create a highly detailed architectural line drawing of a fractal timber frame house with shading. Let's ask MidJourney to do the exact same thing and see what it comes up with. Okay, look at those. There's some real detail here and some variety. These look so much more believable than the Dall E 2 drawings. Those were fuzzy, but these have a real architectural quality. They are believable. I like this one. Let's develop it a bit more. Now it's clear that MidJourney suffers from the same problem as Dall E 2. It can't deal with space. It won't give me detailed drawings of this because it doesn't seem to understand this is a building, a three-dimensional object with spaces inside. The renderings are of a much higher quality. In just 4 months, artificial intelligence has moved on. Dall E 2 renderings look like first-year architectural students' work, and MidJourney looks like a final-year thesis project. They're more architecturally confident, but they're still not giving me enough control to be able to use them professionally. It's fun, and I'm sure it will evolve and grow as a tool, but for now, ChatGPT is actually useful to me as a working architect. I'm going to keep checking out new AI tools as they emerge. If you know of any that an architect would find useful, let me know about it in the comments. I'm sure I'll make a follow-up video in a couple of months, so subscribe to the channel to make sure you catch it when it comes out.